name is David Flynn. I'm the CEO of Aerohive Networks. We're a Silicon Valley-based company that is a next-generation networking company doing cloud-enabled networking, primarily around wireless and mobility, but complete solutions for enterprise network infrastructure. The problem that we're solving and why there's a next-generation networking coming around and why companies come around and kicking Cisco in the teeth and a lot of deployment opportunities is because there's a mobile device explosion going on that's redefining the edge of the enterprise network. Huge changes going on. Legacy network solutions were built that aren't up to the challenge of this new paradigm. And the clicking is not working. Not there. You've probably heard about the BYOD explosion. You're familiar with it. You're bringing your own devices. IT is struggling with this, where users are demanding to work anywhere on any device. They're drowning in the complexity of the problem, dealing with the security, the performance, the availability, doing it all at a reasonable cost. And Aerohive has come along to simplify this paradigm, where the world's gone from yesterday's environment, where it's primarily wired devices. Wi-Fi, wireless was a secondary thought. It was a network-centric environment. And now we're in a situation where mobility is expected. Bring your own device requires lots of policy and security. You need ubiquitous coverage of these wireless networks, and also you need to move to user and application-centric networks. Aerohive delivers this solution, and we do this with a mission of simplifying complex networks. We look at these networks. IT people are drowning in complexity, and we've done everything we can to simplify it. So we are a next-generation infrastructure company that's delivering these solutions. Couple bullet points up there: cloud-enabled, controllerless Wi-Fi. That means if you deploy Wi-Fi solutions in an enterprise, normally you put a bunch of controllers all over the place. We made that go away with a suite of distributed control protocols, going from centralized control to distributed. Typically, the capital cost of a Wi-Fi deployment is 45% controllers. If you look at some of our competitors, 35, 40, 45%. We made that all go away. Protocols are free, so we save a lot of money. We extended that intelligent, user-aware networking across routers, VPN, and switching devices, and then we manage it from a cloud services platform. So you can very easily deploy it. Small to medium-sized customers tend to use our public cloud platform. Fortune 500 enterprises usually want to go private cloud, and we run in their own data center with a cloud management application. So that's the solution we deliver. We're a company that's we're very rapidly growing, about $100 million run rate. Over the last 4 years, I guess the Deloitte Fast 500, we were the 5th fastest growing technology company in North America, with growth of 44,000% over that time period. If you have a small base, you can get to a big percentage growth. That's the secret of the math is have a really bad year your first year as a company. And then if you grow 45,000%. They don't really do it very intelligently, but we still grow quickly. We did grow 135% in shipments last year, year over year. So that kind of a very substantial growth rate, $100 million business. 7,000 customers, 450 people, very highly regarded by people like Gartner, the most visionary vendor in the Magic Quadrant around wired and wireless. We sell to these various vertical markets, and the picture on the right shows the concept: cloud services platform, managing these controllerless wireless devices, and also branch and teleworker routers, and we have a line of switches that's coming out imminently. The solution we've built allows you to transform your legacy network into what we call a platform for mobility. You've got a whole bunch of plumbing that you bought from some guys that charged a whole lot of money for you. Their mission is to sell you a whole bunch of new plumbing that's going to cost a whole lot of money as you move into this mobile network. Our mission is to say you can leave that stuff in place, put an intelligent access layer around it that's user-aware, mobility-aware, extend the life of that infrastructure you deployed, and yet let you embrace the mobility of this new world. So a layer of technology, whether it is Wi-Fi devices, branch routers, switches, all managed by the cloud, that brings together capability to handle the bring your own devices, to fingerprint, recognize operating systems, enforce pushing MDM agents down to the devices, enforcing security and compliance, hooking into directories so you can do user-based policy enforcement, handle guest onboarding, have layer 7 application visibility so you can know what apps are running on your network, whether it's BitTorrent, Facebook, etc., who's doing it, what types of users, whether it's your contractors or your employees running this on your network, and then finally adding additional levels of intelligence, examples around presence detection. We're doing a project with one of the largest pizza companies in the world, where as a user walks up to the store, they detect the signal off of the phone, they can detect that user walked up, do a push notification to give them a coupon to buy extra stuff at the store. Retail analytics to track traffic by as people pass by a store, tell you how many people walk by your store at 1 a.m. versus 11 p.m. on a Saturday versus a Sunday, so you can understand your business. All this with an intelligent wireless infrastructure. So that's what Aerohive does. And I'll jump over to a demo showing some of the capabilities of the product, do a very kind of short version of it. Generally, we start, if you look at the system, we have this cloud management platform. I'm connected to a server that's running one of our data centers. I think this one's probably back in California. And you want to deploy an Aerohive solution. We have a unified policy management framework. And unfortunately, the screen's a little washed out. You can't see some of this all that well. But what we do is allow you to go in and define network policies. This is an example where you can see the network. We have an SSID. That's the Wi-Fi the network you broadcast. It's called ARC Demo. Someone named it that. I don't know why. We define how you authenticate users, whether you're going to authenticate them against Active Directory or Radius or other techniques. Then you define user profiles, the policies attached to your employees, your contractors, your guests, and each of those have certain rules about how much bandwidth, what applications they can run, what security policies attached to those people, and what VLAN. That you define that. You can have 10 of these SSIDs. Each of those users has completely different policies you can drill in and define them. I won't bore you with that. We can define that across the wireless devices, the switching devices. This is a policy for a 24-port switch that you see down below. The ports of the switch use the same user profile. So if you're a networking guy, you go, I want to have common user experience if I'm on a wired or wireless. We define all that for you. We automatically calculate the profiles for you, how they're going to authenticate, how they'll be on the network. And you can go down and we can configure your routers and firewalls, and the whole thing is part of your overall network policy of what you want to deliver is this user-based experience. So you define your policies, and then you define your global network. Here's an example of a simple network. This is some of the Aerohive Network, our headquarters in Sunnyvale. We have 2 buildings. These are our two headquarters buildings over there. We got our UK office on this map. We don't have all of them. And you define a hierarchy, so you can have maps. I'm showing them, put in the addresses, Google Maps of all your buildings. You can click in and drill in, and this is not actually the real map, but you can have a map and put your radios on it. If it's more fully configured, you can actually click and say locate, and it'll tell you where all the people are in the building. And you'll see a map of all the users on the network. You can see if there's what they call a rogue access point that's someone plugged in that's an illegal access point. You can see all that. You can see the radio profiles on it. This is a demo version that doesn't have all those turned on, but you have a very rich set of functionality around the maps and the global view of the company. And so you define your policies, you push those out, and then you have nice visibility of what's going on the network. This is our dashboard, which is using what we call a Layer 7 inspection engine. Layer 7 is application. If you're a networking geek like me, you talk about Layer 1, 2, 3, 4. Layer 7 is the application layer stuff. Layer 3 is where TCP, where IP runs. This now is tracking all of the radios on your network are collecting data as people use the network, and we're tracking applications that are being used. And so what this is showing us, actually this just changed a little while ago, but go to last hour. And now what I can look at over the last hour, what are my big applications, and someone's messing with this in California. They're running tons of BitTorrent right now. So I didn't actually expect that to be there. So now I'm looking at the last day. You can see the profile of applications. It's funny. And how much iTunes is running, for example. Here's the applications being used on your network. How much SSL, UDP. iTunes is running 20 megabits. Ernest Hemingway is our busiest user. 4 users are using iTunes on the network. If I go down, I can look at my clients. I now have 13% of my devices are Windows, 20% are Mac OS. I've got a Roku on the network. I can look at my overall picture of applications over this period. Here you can see Netflix video streaming is 600 megabits. This is actually the guys. They are playing. The marketing engineers are playing around with this, trying to show things. We've got a bunch of Hulu going on, and so you have this kind of visibility about your network. And the cool thing is that this is the overall network. You can actually go back to that map view and go click in and say, show me just 328 Gibraltar. What's going on in 328 Gibraltar? That's our main building. What's on the first floor, second floor? Because you put all these devices onto those floors, and you have that kind of visibility. Then you can also go and say, let's look at it by user profile. Show me what my contractors are doing on my network. And you click on the contractors, and that will then filter the view down to this is what your contractors are doing. And you can see they are running lots of Netflix. They're heavy users. And so you get this kind of power and visibility from this network. The intelligence, and as people move around different parts of the network, we aggregate that data and provide it to the IT team. And if you want to then drill in and go, what's happening with my Skype P2P app, that's an app that was recognized. It describes the app to you, tells you who your top 20 users are. We only have Ernest Hemingway using it right now. What is the user profile of that contractors, the actual usage of the application. So this is all part of delivering this next generation mobile network that you have. And one thing I didn't talk a lot about, we do tons of kind of magic Wi-Fi stuff to handle lots of users and lots of coverage and density, or kind of assuming that's kind of table stakes, and this is the cool new stuff that you layer on top of that to deliver a next generation network. So those are a few of the demos, and I was going to call up, actually how much more time do I have? 3 minutes. Tony Medina to do, he's our system engineer from the area. One last thing we can do is we are able to take all this technology, and you can deploy it in a place like Cooley, where you put up your radios and you have all this capability. We can also take a small device, a branch router, that you can drop ship to an executive home remote location. We're using them for disaster relief kits down in Florida, where you plug them in, you can put a 4G card in, drop it in, and that entire wireless network is instantly provisioned for remote location. And Tony's going to show that.
So I'll take this guy here. So what I got over here, I'll show it after I make the phone calls. We have a phone, which is a short-tail IP phone.
Yeah.
And then I've got my 4G Wi-Fi stick plugged into the router. Now, so I'm going to pick up and I'm going to call somebody.
To reach Charlotte Sturt at Aerohive Networks.
You got my voice
So a good example of this guy here is during the hurricane, I lost power for 3 weeks. I worked out of my car with that box. I had my phone, Wi-Fi, and I'm pretty sure a lot of us in here are really curious, and we've been trying to get on Wi-Fi. And if you look around, there's only one open network, and it's called BYOD Register. And if you got curious and selected it and tried to actually register, you'll get a splash page. Let's see if we can see it on this guy.
You want to try and do it?
Yeah, so they can see it on the screen.
Did you want that browser page? just refresh, just hit. You want me to bring it up?
Bring Safari up so it'll force the refresh. So we get this page here. And if you actually went through and filled out some information, and I'll just put some bogus information just to show you really quick.
Use the mic.
I left it over there. It's all, I just butchered it. Just to get it going quicker. So it goes ahead and it gives me a pre-share key. So this is a private pre-share key which is registered just to that account that I just went ahead in there and put in. And it's telling you to now select the new SSID, which is the one with the lock on it. Paste that key in there. And I'm on the internet now. And this is one low-cost way we handle BYOD. We also have identity manager and other products, but out of the box, our product does this. It's just a 20, 30-minute configuration, and once you have it done on a network policy, you push it to every AP you have, or half of them. It's very simple.
And so for those of you that dialed the phone to get the Cooley password and to get onto the network, this is a way you can just do it over the air on the internet. People register information. And you actually got an encrypted key, so it's you have a private conversation with the wireless network. So that is a bit about what Aerohive delivers.
Like I said, this is basically all I'm using. I'm just using power, and that Ethernet connection connects that phone and creates a VPN tunnel back to California. And Charlie, if he showed you his phone, it actually has a 408 California phone number registered on call ID.
Yeah, that was a California phone call he just made to here. So, thank you. Sorry, I was supposed to ask for any questions, and we can answer. Yes.
How do you integrate with the legacy on-premise switches and networks?
In terms of the integration, if you've got legacy switches, usually you plug our devices in on top of a Cisco infrastructure probably, and it integrates well. It would hook into the existing directory infrastructure you have for authentication. And in terms of plugging on top of the switches, usually we just want a VLAN at the edge to separate user types, though you don't have to go do that. And then we do talk things like CDPD to Cisco to integrate nicely into them. Any other questions? Okay. Well, thank you all for your time.